For me, as a busy mom, we have 4 kids and a job, and there's always things to do. There's always life, there's work, there's sports. Finding time for God and for reading my Bible and sitting down is always something that I really want to do, and I always have very good intentions of doing, but actually having the time to do it is hard to find.
Sometimes when I'm walking, I think oh, maybe why isn't God speaking to me, or why can't God do anything to make it clear that he's there? But I don't really give him the silence and the space to actually answer me. So I think that the time that I had here was a great opportunity for God to speak to me in that way, and a great opportunity for me to learn how to speak to him that way when I'm in my daily life in the future.
I'm really encouraged by the Making Space weekends. It's not my first time coming, but it's just so encouraging because in the Word, Jesus talks about his sheep will know his voice. And I was just encouraged this weekend once again about how willing he is to speak to us if we're willing to taking the time to hear him.
I had a really good time this weekend. There were 4 separate times that I was able to journal and pray and trying to figure out some of the things that are bothering me in life. For example, I find myself these days very negatively thinking. I have a lot of guilt. Some of the things that I have been feeling very, very guilty about over a long period of time have now been removed.
I found that this weekend was an excellent time to actually sit and have some solo time, and with the guided scripture reading was extremely helpful to go through and actually sit and listen to what God has to say to me. And then to sit with other godly people who have much more insight, and to sit and pray with me and kind of speak to the things in my life that I'm sort of struggling with was absolutely amazing today.
I found it quite interesting and encouraging to hear God, to feel God speaking to me directly and personally in my solo time. Then we met in our small groups where our prayers and encouragement would be along the same lines. And then later in the day when we met with another small group who wasn't part of those conversations all along, but as they would pray for me, as we would pray over each other, it really felt like God was speaking through them, and again, aligning with some of the messages that I've been hearing throughout the weekend. So that was really cool.
Literally, you're making space. You're intentionally digging in with the Word, with prayer. What I found very impactful was kind of peeling back some of the layers of things that I've reflected on in the last few years, but I haven't really dissected to the root of the problem. But I was able to get down deep and find that cause, and just give that up to God, and feel so free in that, and be able to really feel a weight lifted off and be able to breathe again. So this was a really, really impactful weekend for me.
I'm really happy to convince myself to come, because I wasn't planning to, but now the fellowship I experienced with the group and the prayers I received, I really think this is one of the things that you would never regret.
Make space. Come to the weekend. It's something my wife and I we make a point of coming to these. This is the 3rd one we've been to. It's just an important weekend in recalibrating life and making sure we're trying to be aligned with what God would have for us.